Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakat Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS. Rules well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of this video is basically Yahweh's judgment unavoidable. Right? I pretty much just copied and pasted from Amos 9. And that's what I'm going into. Breaking down Amos 9 is pretty easy, real quick. Amos 9 and 1, because why? This is prophecy, right? Ultimately, this was prophesied against the Israelites, but now we're in a time of that, punishment and judgment going on to Esau, even because our punishment and judgment is nearing its end, right? We already went through what the Lord wanted us to go through, right? Which was been given to the hand of our enemies, that of Esau, Edom, and them doing, basically, what they did with us. That's going back to slavery. Got like Revelations 20, right? Esau was bound for 1,000 years, and after 1,000 years, he was loose. And he took the saints, and basically put them into slavery, the saints being the Israelites, of course, right? So now, we're at a time where Esau is beginning to be judged. So grab some of that. All right, this is Revelations 20 and 7. See, it says there, Satan freed Doom, right? So basically, Satan freed and Doom. He was freed. Esau even was freed, and he's going to be doomed because we're at the end. The scripture say Esau is the end of the road, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed, right? Also, the scripture say that what the end has manifest. Going to what is that? Second Ezra, I believe is 9. Right. Second Ezra 9 and 5. It says, for like as all that is made in the world at the beginning and in the end is manifest. Right. So that's why we're seeing what the effects and signs happen in these last days. And that's regarding the fall of Esau, Edom, and his kingdom. Right. The nations around the world are hating him. Right. The dollar is collapsing. So grab this Daniel. Grab Daniel too. See some. It's like a very real quick. All right, Slakia. This is not what I wanted actually. I believe it's Daniel 8. Let me see. All right, Slocky, I was looking for the fact what I talked about the slavery, but that's actually in Revelations 11. So I'll go to it. I thought it was a precept here, but it's not. This is Revelations start at 9. This is Revelations 11 and 9. It says, and they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer the dead bodies to be put in graves. Now, what this is talking about is, basically through the fact of, let me see, slavery, you know, what did Esau even do? He basically beat the heritage out of us, right? He made us change our names, and forget who we were, right? And basically, once we were set loose or free, we kind of just was walking around in a dead state, not knowing who we were, and the people seen us, and they didn't say, "Hey, you're the Israelites" or anything like that. It says Revelation 11 and 9, and they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer the dead bodies to be put in graves. And that period is even up to now. It's a 350-year period, right, which consists of slavery even up to now to this point, because it wasn't them that told us that we're the Israelites. It was Yahweh Bashim Shai, that allowed us to know through the Spirit that we're the Israelites. So, as a matter of fact, in Amos 9, the latter portion of it, that's what it's going into, actually. So, it's pretty good. So, let me see. It says, Revelation 11 and 10, it says, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. Right. So these gifts that they sent to each other was us, the Israelites, as through slavery. So let me grab that. This is Lamentations 2. All right, so Lamentations 2 and 15, it says, and all that passed by clapped their hands at me. They hissed and wagged their head at the door of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? It says, all thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day that we look for. We have found, we have seen it. Right? So going back to what it says here, and all they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry. Right? So that's exactly what they did. So that's what Lamentations 2 and 16 is talking about, because they destroyed us. Now, let me get this Joel. Read it, Joel. This is Joel 3 and 3. It says, and they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. So this is going into that slavery that I was talking about, right? They sold, the men and the women. Let me grab that NLT. It says, NLT, Joel 3 and 3, they threw dice to decide which of my people will be their slaves. They traded boys to obtain prostitutes and sold girls for enough wine to get drunk. Right, and that was during the period of slavery. Right, so I believe that's everything I spoke about. So yeah, that was our punishment, right? So now, well, like I said, Amos 9 is going to go into it, and I'll break it down as we go. And what it's going into is the punishment that was to befall Israel. But like I just said, we went through our punishment. So now it's time for Esau Edom to go through his. So I'm gonna use these same scriptures and relate it to Esau Edom, right? That is Bible prophecy, right? So it says, I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the lintel of the door, that the post may shake and cut them in the head, all of them, and I will slay the last of them with the sword. He that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. So the title of this is what? Yahweh's judgment unavoidable. Right? So the judgment will come, the destruction will come to Esau Edom. Right? Just as it happened to us. It says, though they dig into hell, then shall mine hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. It says, and though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. Now, hey, so Esau Edom has these bunkers, right, and these things and these underground bunkers, undersea bunkers, and things like that. So this is a perfect thing for them. Perfect prophecy breakdown for Esau Edom in this time because Esau Edom is the one hiding. As a matter of fact, I got here, obviously. So let me grab this Jeremiah 16 and 16. All right, so Jeremiah 16 and 16 says, Behold, I will send for many fishers, said Lord Yahweh, and they shall fish them. And after I will send for many hunters. So who are the fishers? The fishers are the men of the Lord, the host elect, now in this time, right? And we know the government body consisting of the 144,000, which will get that spiritual power, here in these last days. And those individuals be the ones to go out and hunt, because they will have the spiritual power. It says, Behold, I will send for many fishers, said the Lord Yahweh, and they shall fish them. And after I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. So who's going to be hiding these holes of the rocks? Esau Edom. Uh, you know, and basically because what? They're going into captivity. Let me grab this. Because, once again, that judgment is on them now. This is Psalms 149. It says Psalms 149 and 6, let the high praises of Yahweh be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishment upon the people. So, hey, that two-edged sword is an actual sword, in the hand of the host elect, the Israelites. Once Yahweh returns, give us those new bodies, right, in the government, the new kingdom is established. It says to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord Yahweh. Right? So ultimately, Esau Edom will get his judgment, right? And he'll be fished out from all these holes and crevices and rocks where he's hiding, which are the bunkers. See? So Yahweh's judgment unavoidable. Verse 2, though they dig into hell, then shall though they dig into hell, then shall mine hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, then shall I bring them down. Hey, who was in heaven? Up there in those satellites, spaceships, who's trying to constantly go to the moon, right? Elon Musk, right? And the rest of the heathen. It says, and though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. Hey, what's that serpent? It's talking about Leviathan. Let me grab that. The dry land. All right, Slocky, bear me. All right, let me see if I can find it. All right, second Ezra 6 and 52. All right, so this is Second Ezra 6 and 49. It says, then didst thou ordain two living creatures, the one thou callest Enoch, and the other Leviathan, or Leviathan, right? And didst separate the one from the other, for the seventh part, namely where the water was gathered together, might not hold them both. Unto Enoch thou gavest one part which is dried up the third day, that he should dwell in the same part wherein are 1,000 years. So Enoch is relating to man, right? It says, but unto Leviathan thou gavest the seventh part, namely the moist, and kept him to be devoured, of whom thou wilt and when. Right? So this is going to what? Basically the fish, right? But there's a serpent, an actual creature. Let me see if I can find a precept on that. Okay, we got Job 41 kind of goes into detail about it. All right, it says Job 41 and 1, and look what it says: Yahweh's power shown in creatures. Right? Job 41 and 1, it says, canst thou draw out a Leviathan with a hook, or his tongue with a cord, which thou lettest down? So this is talking about the actual serpent. You know, it says, canst thou put an hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? It says, will he make a covenant with thee without taking for a servant forever? You know, these are just the answer to all this is no. It says, wilt thou play with him as with a bird, or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? It says, canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish and spears? So, you know, hey, can you do that with all other fish, right? Yes. You go to the ocean, you know, where they be catching dolphins and sharks, and they got great whales over in the zoo and things like that. But it's Leviathan, you cannot do it. It says, right. It says, yeah, so that's the point. We see what it said in NLT. Now, see if they got some precept on it right here. It says, Job 41 and 1, can you catch Leviathan with a hook, or put a nose around his jaw? Can you tie it with a rope through the nose, or pierce his jaw with a spike? Will it beg you for mercy, or implore you for pity? Will it agree to work for you, to be your slave for life? Can you make it a pet like a bird, or give it to your little girls to play with? It says, will merchants try to buy it, to sell it in their shops? It says, will its hide be hurt by spears, or its head by a harpoon? If you lay a hand on it, you will certainly remember the battle that follows. You won't try that again. It says, no, it is useless to try to capture it. The hunter who attempts it will be knocked down. So you see, this is talking about a creature, right? And this creature is a serpent, you know, a big ass type dragon, you know. It says, and since no one dares to disturb it, who then can stand up to me? Right? So you can't even stand up to the creature, Leviathan, that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua made. It says, who has given me anything that I need to pay back? Everything under heaven is mine. It says, I want to emphasize Leviathan's limbs and its enormous strength and graceful form. Who can strip off its hide, and who can penetrate its double layer of armor? Who could pry open its jaws, for its teeth are terrible. Its scales are like rows of shields tightly sealed together. It says they are so close together that no air can get between them. Each scale sticks tight to the next. They interlock and cannot be penetrated. It says, when it sneezes, it flashes light. Its eyes are like the red of dawn. It says, lightning leaps from its mouth, flame of fire flash out. Hey, think about Godzilla. You know, those movies they make about Godzilla. Yeah, that's where they got this stuff. That's where they got the Godzilla from. You know, this right here. It says, smoke screams from his nostrils, like scream from a pot heated over burning rushes. Its breath would kindle coals for flames shoot. Its breath would kindle coals for flames shoot from its mouth. The tremendous strength in Leviathan's neck strikes terror wherever it goes. Its flesh is hard and firm and cannot be penetrated. Its heart is hard as rock, hard as a millstone, great millstone. When it rises, the mighty are afraid, gripped by terror. No sword can stop it, no spear, dart, or javelin. Iron is nothing but straw to that creature, and bronze is like rotten wood. Hey, and it can change. So they, I'm sure they got to read. Says Psalms 104 and 26, see the ship sailing along in Leviathan, which you made to play in the sea. Isaiah 27 and 1 says, in that day the Lord Yahweh will take his terrible, swift sword and punish Leviathan, this swiftly moving serpent, the coiling, raping serpent. He will kill the dragon of the sea. See? Hey, so there you go. Right, that's the serpent. So, right here, Amos 9 and 3 says, and though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight at the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. So everything down there that Esau got going to be destroyed. What is it? Submarines, all of that. It says, and though, as a matter of fact, so I got that. It says, and though they go into captivity before their enemy, thence will I command the sword, and it shall slay them, and I will set mine eyes upon them for evil and not for good. Right, and once again, this is, talking about the Israelites, of course, that, the punishment that we went through, but, now that punishment is on Esau, Edom, and I'll grab this, because the land of Babylon, the great, will be ultimately utterly destroyed. Right, and what all nations going to be put into servitude, which I'll get offset. Lamentations 4 in 21, it says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwells in the land of Uz. It says, the cup also shall pass through unto thee. See, so that cup is going to pass on to Esau, Edom, the cup of servitude in description. It says, thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. Then it goes to say, the punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. Right, so pursuant to what? Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68, we went to slavery, which is bondage. We went to Egypt with ships, the transatlantic slave trade, right, through the hand of Esau, Edom. It says the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion, right, the Israelites. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. So this is the last captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sin. So now, the punishment is on Esau, Edom, because the Israelites have already, fulfilled the prophecy of their punishment. But Esau is about to fulfill his now, right? So moving on, it says, it says, and the Lord Yahweh Bashan, I'm sorry, I'll read this again. Verse 4, and though they go into captivity before their enemies, thence will I command the sword, and it shall slay them, and I will set mine eyes upon them for evil and not for good. So now the eyes are on Esau, Edom, right? What is that? That's that on. Let me grab it. Nahum 3. See, it says, woe to the bloody city, it is full of lies and robbery, the prey departed not. See? So that, this bloody city is talking about Babylon the Great. And woe means destruction. And it's upon, Esau, Edom. It says in verse 5, and the Lord Yahweh, Bashan shall host, is he that touches the land, and it shall melt. And all that dwell therein shall mourn, and it shall rise up wholly like a flood, and shall be drowned as by the flood of Egypt. So So what's going to melt? Right? We know World War III is coming. Let me grab this. Revelations 11 and 14. It says, Revelations 11 and 14, it says, the second war is past, and behold, the third war coming quickly. And what's going to happen, during that, third war. It says Isaiah 9 and 5, for every battle of the warriors will confuse noise and garments rolled in blood. It says, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Right? So this last war is going to be with burning and fuel of fire by what? You already know the answer to that, but it is right in the precepts. Isaiah 54 and 16, it says, behold, I have created the smith that blows the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. So what is that weapon? That's the nuclear missiles, right? That the Most High has put in the mind of these devils to create. And they're going to use this during World War III, which we are currently in, because we're at the end of Esau's kingdom. Just like I read earlier, or I quoted earlier, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it. I call it. So after Esau goes down through these nuclear missiles, his kingdom, Babylon the Great, the kingdom of Yahweh Bashim Shai, Yahweh Bashim Shai will be set up, right? So let me continue. Let me grab this Jeremiah 49 actually too. I didn't get it. Amos 9 and 3 says, so backing up a little bit, says, and though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search out and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent shall bite them. So they're going to try to hide, right? And they're gonna get that judgment. Grab this. See, prophecy against Edom. I really went on 10, but I'll start from 7. It says, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Bashmal shall host, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Hey, so Teman goes into the Germans, right? And actually, it was the Germans who made the nuclear missiles. So those scientists from the Germans got split between America and Russia. Some Germans went to America, some Germans went to Russia, right? They put nuclear missiles. And there's no wisdom in Teman, right? The nuclear missile was the height of, what they had. It says, flee ye, turn back, roll deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. It says, if grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaming grapes? If these by night, they will destroy till they have enough. But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places. He shall not be able to hide himself. See? So Esau can't hide nowhere, whether it be underground, above ground, whatnot. It says, his seed is full in his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. So everything of Esau, Edom will be destroyed. Right? Ultimately, yeah, hey. As a matter of fact, that is Bible prophecy, because what? When you get this forward, it says, in Amos 9 and 4, it says, and though they go into captivity before their enemies, thence will I command the sword, and it shall slay them, and I will set mine eyes upon them for evil, not for good. And ultimately, all of Esau will be destroyed, completely. Because, and what? They're also going into slavery, so they're going to go into slavery, and then they're going to be destroyed. This is Obadiah 1 and 18. It says, the day of the Lord in the future. You get to 18 after, we take Esau, Edom, and put them into slavery, bind their kings up like I got earlier. It says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and it shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh has spoken it. See, so hey, Esau will be utterly and completely destroyed, but not the Israelites. So going back to verse 6 now, it says, it is he that buildeth the stories in heaven, and hath founded his truth in the earth. He that calleth for the waters of the sea, and poured them out upon the face of the earth. The Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh is his name. And basically what? He's basically saying that he's the Lord that has created heaven and earth and all things, right? And the Lord is his name. And the Lord there is all caps, right? So it goes into the name Yahweh, which is the thing you will call God, right? His name is Yahweh. So the Lord is his name, and he built everything, right? And he's the one that's bringing this judgment that's unavoidable, right, to Esau Edom, all the way up into his complete destruction, pursuant to Obadiah 118. So we got this Amos 9 and 7. It says, "Are you not as children of Ethiopians unto me, or children of Israel, says Lord Yahweh? Have not I brought up Israel out of the land of Egypt, and the Philistines from Captor, and the Syrians from Ker?" So if you go back to our punishment, basically for the thing that we did, we had to be punished, right? And Yahweh is saying here, did not he do these different things, for the other nations, right? So ultimately, the same way that he judges other people and moves them around is the same way that he had to judge us, right? Just because we're the Lord's chosen people and special and all of that doesn't mean we're going to go unpunished. And the same is now for Esau Edom. Let me grab this, Daniel 4 and 17. Daniel 4 and 17 says, "This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High Yahweh ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set up over it the faces of men." So the Most High Yahweh ruleth in the kingdom of men, right? He moves around different people, he judges different people, and he does what he wants, and basically he set up now in this time Esau Edom. So going back over here, see, it says, "So that's why I said, are you not as the children of Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel?" Because what? We're going to be judged just like other people were judged, right? Most High controls, the world and everyone in it. That's pretty much what it's 1 and 2. So let me grab this one, Proverbs 16. Okay, here we go. So I wanted to grab Proverbs 16:9. It says, "A man's heart devises his way, but the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shai directed his steps." Right. And the reason I wanted to get that is because he said he led the Philistines to basically from Captor and the Syrians from Ker. So the Most High basically moved the people around the way he saw fit, and judged them and all of that. The same way he's able to judge us, if it goes off. Grab this. Right. I don't like the NLT breakdown of it. It says, "Are you Israelites more important to me than the Ethiopians?" asked the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Awashai. It says, "I brought Israel out of Egypt, but I also brought the Philistines from Crete and led the Arameans out of Kir." Right. And, like the precepts I got, this is basically the Lord controlling all people, and pretty much, we're not exempt from judgment. We're not exempt from the Lord putting forth his hands and doing what he's going to do, basically because, we can't say, "Oh, we're the Lord's chosen people." We can continue to disobey him or whatever the case may be, and he won't do anything to us, So, and the same way is the same way how Esau Edom is going to be destroyed, It says Amos 9 and 8, Lord willing, you understood that. Amos 9 and 8, it says, "Behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh power are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob," said the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Awashai. Hey, so that's the point, because what? Esau will be utterly destroyed. You read this. But what? This is Revelations 18. Did I have that here? Right. It says Babylon is fallen. Babylon is America. All right. This is Revelations 18 and 4. It says, "And I have heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sin, and that ye not receive, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquity." See, it says, "Reward her even as she rewarded you." So, hey, the Most High punished us by the hand of who? Esau Edom. It says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works, and the cup which she had filled to her double. Right. So she filled at a cup and she's gonna drink of it, just like we got Lamentations 4, right? And she's gonna drink that cup doubly. So and now in this time, the Lord Yahweh is going to destroy the kingdom of Esau Edom. It says, "For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is shifted in a sheaf, yet shall not the least rain fall upon the earth." It says, "All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us." And now in this time, what? The Most High is still judging all Edom, but also our people. Because just like I got Revelations 18, what did it say? It says, come out of her. And this is what turning away from the Lord and turning back to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? Putting in a new man, rehearsing righteous acts, right? Turning back to law, right? In the Lord. So yeah, Amos 9 and 10, all the sins of my people shall die by the sword, which say that evil shall not overtake the defenders. Like some people don't believe in Jacob's trouble, right? But Jacob's trouble is here, and it's going to be a judgment, for the sinners of the Lord, you know. And then it goes into the restoration of Israel, because at the same time, what? Uh, just like I got in the beginning, Esau is the end of the world, right? And Jacob is the beginning of that followed. So now we're in a time where Esau is going to be destroyed, and then the restoration of Israel is going to, happen. That's why you got what? Isaiah 19. I'm sorry, Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14 and 1 says, "The Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." See, so at the end of all of this, what? The Most High will have mercy on Jacob. See, so he's going to have mercy on Jacob, but not Esau, right? And we're going to be joined back together. And also, the Israelite foreigners that, are not practicing right now or whatnot, we're all going to be joined back into the kingdom. It says, "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors." So ultimately, we're going to get the kingdom back, and like I stated earlier, we're going to take these individuals, Esau, Edom, and the rest of the heathen, and make them servants and handmaids, right? And we're going to rule over our oppressors, right? In line 11, it says, "And in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that has fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. I will raise up its ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old." So, just like it was in the days of old, when the Israelites was together, and everything was good, that's what it's going to be like. So basically, pursuant to what? Ezekiel 37, in slavery and in the split of the northern and the southern tribes, the Most High is going to, block all that out and bring us all back together, right? And that's why it says close up the breaches thereof. So all the differences, the arguments and everything that separated us, right? And also the curses, all that's going to be gone from us. We're going to, go get our kingdom back. It says that they may possess the remnant of Edom. See? So that goes into what? The servants and handmaids that I just read. It says, so I'll read it again, Amos 9:11. "In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that has fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and will raise up its ruins, and will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and all of the heathen." Right? So it kind of stops there. You read it like this. So if you read this, it says, Amos 9:11, it says, "In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up its ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, right, which are called by my name, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, that doeth this." So basically, the individuals that are called by his name shall what? Possess the remnant of Edom and all of the heathen. That's the point, So that's how you read that right there. And let me grab these precepts on that of us that's called by his name. This is second Esdras 4. Let me grab 3. So 3 and 34. Okay, yeah, so this is second Ezra 3 and 34. It says, weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance, and theirs also that dwell in the world. So this is the Israelites versus the rest of the world. And so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel. See, so the name of the Lord is nowhere else but only on Israel, right? It says, or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Thou shalt find that Israel by name have kept thy precepts, but not the heathen, right? So that, we have named the Lord put upon us, right? And not the rest of the heathen. So we're called by his name, right? And the Esau, Edom, and the heathen will go into slavery. This is 4, St. Edges 4 and 25. It says, let me start at 23. I'll start at 22. Second Edges 4 and 22, it says, then answered I and said, I beseech thee, O Lord Yahweh, let me have understanding, for it was not my mind to be curious of high things, but of such as pass by us daily, namely wherefore Israel is given up as a reproach to the heathen. And for what cause the people whom thou hast loved is given over unto ungodly nations, and why the law of our forefathers is brought to naught, and the written covenants come to none effect. And we pass away out of the world as grasshoppers, and our life is astonishment and fear. And we are not worthy to obtain mercy. It says, what will he then do unto his name, whereby we are called? Of these things have I asked. Right. So Ezra is, looking at the state of his people, and it's like, yo, aren't we called by the name? All these things have befallen us, so goes into that. But the point I wanted was that we have his name. It says, what will he then do unto his name whereby we are called? Of these things have I asked. Right. So he's like, yo, we have your name, but the rest of these heathen are, talking shit. Right. They over there in the Holy Land, So anyway, let me go back to where I was at. So that's how you read that right there. Amos 9:11, it says, in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that's fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up its ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and all the heathen, which are called by my name, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashman that doeth this. It says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and when this going into the kingdom, right? The glory, right? Scriptures say, no eye have seen. Let me see if I can grab that. First Corinthians 2:9. It says, First Corinthians 2:9. But as it is written, I have not seen nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man, which is the mind, the things which Yahweh have prepared for them that love him. See? So the point is, this is talking about the kingdom is going to be so great. It says, behold, Amos 9:13, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the tread of grapes him that soweth seed, and the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall milk. So this is talking about abundance. It says, I will bring again the captivity of my people of Israel, and they shall build away cities. And this captivity is talking about the exile. He's going to bring again the exile of his people, right? You can go into, what is it, Luke 4, that talks about how Jerusalem mourneth, for our people, but will be brought back. That's in the book of Luke 4, which is in the prophet. Let me see. Yeah, Luke 4. Yeah, Luke 4. I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel, and they shall build away cities and inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof, and they shall also make gardens and eat fruit of them. I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land, which I have given them, said the Lord Yahweh Bashman outside of power. See? Right? So when you grab this last part, NLT, so we're going to be good. Esau's gonna be destroyed and we're gonna be good. See, Amos 9 and 13, it says, the time will come, says Lord Yahweh, when the grain and grapes will grow faster than they can be harvested. Then the trace vineyards on the hills of Israel will drip with sweet wine. Let me see what it's talking about here.
Terraced.
Terrace. So then the terrace vineyards on the hills of Israel will drip with sweet wine. I will bring my exiled people of Israel back from distant lands, and they will rebuild their ruined cities and live in them again. They will plant vineyards and gardens. They will eat their crops and drink their wine. I will firmly plant them there in their homeland. They will never again be uprooted from the land I have given them, said the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shah. Right? And ultimately, what? The slaves are going to be doing that. You see. This is as big as Ezekiel 39:13. So Ezekiel 39:14, it says, and they shall sever out men of continual employment. Ezekiel 39:11, right? So this is after Ezekiel 38. And then what happens in Ezekiel 38? The destruction of Esau Edom by the Russians, Gog and Magog, which is World War III. And then shortly after the end of Esau Edom, what? The kingdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh will be set up. Right? And what? I just read into all of it that we're gonna take heathens, Esau Edom and put them into chains for servitude. It says Ezekiel 39:11, and it shall come to pass in that day that I will give unto God a place there of graves in Israel, the valley of the passengers on the east of the sea, and it shall stop with Moses the passengers, and there shall they bury God in all his multitude, and they shall call it the valley of Homogog, right? Because in basically in World War III, a lot of bodies are going to be piled up, and we're going to have these individuals, our servants, handmaids, burying bodies. It says, in 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying of them, that they may cleanse the land. So we have to cleanse the land, but it's not going to be us cleansing the land after this war, right? It says, yeah, all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be to them a renown the day that I shall be glorified, said the Lord Yahweh Shah. Read it again. It says, yeah, all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be to them a renown the day that I shall be glorified, said the Lord Yahweh Shah. And they shall sever out men of continual employment. So these are the servants. Esau, Edom, and the rest of the heathen, the ones that are alive, that's going to have that continual employment to be what? Burying these bodies, right? It says, and they shall sever out men of continual employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth to cleanse it. After the end of 7 months shall they search. So, that's the point. Right, so Lord willing, we'll edify from the lesson. I'll say Shalom to those elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.